Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Flash actor Ezra Miller. But before we begin, I just wanted to let my Patreons know that a Patreon exclusive on the Hawaii situation will be dropping either later tonight or tomorrow. Due to what I get into in that video, I won't be posting it here on YouTube to keep our channel from getting in trouble. So if you're a Patreon member, make sure to be on the lookout, as it would most likely be available by tonight or tomorrow. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed to the second channel, Truth Network, so you don't miss any new content that's coming out over there. Thank you all. Now let's get right into it. Hollywood is a very strange and disturbing place. The more I investigate, the more disturbed I become with the industry. I am convinced the devil must live in Hollywood because the things that happen over there can only be influenced by such an evil. At this point, it becomes much easier to realize how the industry truly operates. Hollywood is ran by the occult, and in order to make it in Hollywood, you must be an occultist. I have proved this so many times over using the actors themselves. A few months back, we spoke about Vanessa Hudgens, the Disney Channel High School Musical star, confessing to the world that she was a witch. She openly admitted that she was an occultist and was making a whole movie about it. I believe most of those acting in Disney are all connected to the Masonic Order. Like I've said plenty of times, Walt Disney himself was a member of the Masonic organization for kids called the Demole. Unsurprisingly, now there's a whole Disney Demole Lodge where I believe they recruit their child stars from. So it's not surprising that one of Disney's child stars would come out and reveal that they're into the occult. This is what Disney and all of Hollywood is about. This is how Hollywood operates. All of the top stars participate in the occult, and this is exactly what I found with the actor Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller, for those who don't know, is a 30-year-old actor best known for playing Credus Barebone in the Harry Potter spin-off movie Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. He is also known as the Flash, playing the character in the 2017 Justice League movie and now the 2023 Flash movie. Ezra has been acting for most of his life, getting his start all the way back in 2008 at the young age of 16, acting in the movie called After School. From here, it was only up for Ezra as he would begin to act in several movies and TV shows, eventually landing the life-changing role of Credence for the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them franchise. He followed this up with an even bigger level up when he was casted to play the Flash in the DC universe. Ezra was appearing like the next megastar in Hollywood, with many successful films under his belt, and now being the lead in a superhero franchise, his career appeared set. If you're unfamiliar with Ezra, you may be asking yourself, what does the truth possibly have to expose about the Flash actor? You will be surprised how dark this story really gets. What Ezra's millions of fans don't know is that the only reason he is so successful to begin with is because of his occult ties. Ezra Miller is an occultist, and we can see proof of this time and time again. In many photos, we can find Ezra doing Masonic symbolism. In this photo, we can see him doing the as above so below pose, as he can be seen with one hand pointed to the heavens with the other one pointed to the ground. This is a common occult pose, and this is associated with duality and Baphomet. On this magazine cover, we can spot Ezra showing the one eye symbolism, as he's pictured on the cover covering one of his eyes. This is a common Masonic pose, and we have seen so many celebrities displaying it. We can also find them in many photos doing this hand symbol where he connects his two fingers to make a pyramid, again pointing to the Masonic order. Here, he can be seen doing the Masonic hand gesture while covering one of his eyes to do the one eye symbolism. In this photo, he can be seen in front of a Baphomet statue on the wall behind him. One photo that caught my attention over the rest was this photo here. In this photo, we see Ezra throwing up the Masonic all-seeing eye pose while standing next to Jason, who plays Aquaman. I have been wanting to make a video on Jason as I found some interesting information about him. See, Jason has photos with his daughter where he and his kids can be seen throwing up the Masonic all-seeing eye, openly displaying Jason indoctrinating his daughter into the occult at such a young age. I don't think it's at all a coincidence that both Jason and Ezra, two actors who play DC Universe superheroes, can be seen throwing up Masonic symbols. Again, this proves my point. Those chosen to be stars are occultists. Everyone at the top in Hollywood took the Masonic oath. I believe a full video on Jason Momoa is needed. If you guys want to see that, comment Jason below. With Ezra, it gets darker than just Imagery, as he has been exposed for much worse than this. If you have been keeping up with the news regarding Ezra, then you might already know that he has been all over the headlines for many reasons. Getting into fights with fans, disorderly conduct, and harassment. But worst of all, he was accused of starting a cult and allegedly grooming a girl he met when she was only 12 years old named Dakota. Dakota Iron Eyes was a child activist and ended up meeting Ezra during the Dakota Pipeline protests back in 2016, a decision that sadly would ruin her life. Ezra is being accused of starting a relationship with the young girl after staying in touch with her since then. In 2021, Dakota enrolled in Bard College at Simon Rock, just 2 hours away from Ezra's farmhouse. Later that year, at the age of 18, Dakota was convinced to drop out of college by Ezra and then begin to travel with him, eventually ending up in Los Angeles. Her parents would eventually make their way to LA to bring their daughter home, but Ezra did not allow this to happen and actually took off with their daughter. Not long after this happened, the family managed to get a court order ordering Ezra to stay away from Dakota and the family, stating that Ezra, then 23, met Dakota when she was only 12 years old. However, they were not able to find Ezra or Dakota to serve the order. This is when Dakota posted on her Instagram that she was not in any harm and that her parents were lying. The fact that Ezra was interested in a 12-year-old was already disturbing, but why he was after her was even more disturbing. According to a source close to Ezra, Ezra had told them that he is Jesus and that Dakota is an apocalyptic Native American spider goddess and that their union is supposed to bring the apocalypse. And that's the real reason everyone is opposed to them being together. I find this especially interesting, and it quickly reminded me of Jack Parson, who was one of Crowley's followers. Jack performed Crowley's Babylon working ritual, and he believed to have summoned a fallen god in the body of a woman named Marjorie Cameron, who he eventually ended up marrying. Marjorie then started a cult called the Children, where she focused on creating mixed-race children she called Moon Children. It appears that Ezra, just like Jack Parsons, believed Dakota was a reincarnated god. As Ezra was being exposed for this, even more disturbing information about him was revealed. According to a few sources, Ezra at one point was running a sex cult out of an Airbnb he rented in Iceland. According to an 18-year-old woman that hung out with him, he had a bunch of young women staying with him in the Airbnb. She claimed that Ezra somehow had them all hypnotized. Another source claimed that it was all a mating cult, with Ezra having his way with several different women. This woman also claims that Ezra had an altar at his house where he had several offerings on it, one being a Flash figurine. She also claimed that the actor had referred to himself as Jesus and the devil on many occasions. This is something occultists believe in, as they're obsessed with duality. Ezra was also accused of doing what he did to Dakota to other girls as well. The fact that Ezra is talking about the apocalypse is concerning to me. We have been seeing plenty of apocalyptic imagery coming from the music industry in Hollywood. Not that long ago, I exposed one of Bad Bunny's recent music videos where he shows plenty of apocalypse imagery and also depicting the Great Reset. We also have been seeing how Kendrick Lamar was showing Antichrist imagery when he mocked Christ on his last album. We also saw Beyonce with the Four Horsemen imagery around the same time the Georgia Guidestones were mysteriously demolished. It's obvious these occultists are expecting an apocalypse, and this is exactly what they're showing. I believe the Masons are getting ready for the Great Reset and the announcement of the New World Order. Ezra is an occultist who's on the level of Aleister Crowley. He is performing occult magic rituals and forming cults that are under his manipulation. What's the most interesting about all of this is that while all of this was happening and Ezra was all over headlines for getting arrested and for his relationships with Dakota, somehow he still finished his role as Flash and the new movie was still released in June 2023. Even though he was being accused of being a grooming cult leader and was being investigated for many crimes, he was still invited to the movie's premiere. Warner Brothers had no issues with the fact that Ezra was being accused of grooming and other disturbing allegations. They still let him be the lead superhero for their movie, a movie that is consumed by mostly children and teens, the very same kids that Ezra is known to go after. This is not a coincidence. Ezra is special, he is chosen, and it's the reason they made him the Flash. What's interesting is that Ezra actually compared the Flash to Jesus, stating that the Flash brings the multiverse together just like Jesus. The fact that WB turned a blind eye to all of this shows that they support all of it. One thing people should acknowledge is that Ezra was chosen to be in Harry Potter's spin-off, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, a movie all about the occult where he plays a wizard. All while in the real world, he is literally practicing ritual magic. This is done on purpose. Ezra has been into the occult for his entire career. It's the reason he had a career to begin with. I honestly believe he was a part of the Masonic Demolay organization. Ezra comes from a successful family, who I believe is most likely Masonic. His father, Robert S. Miller, was actually the vice president of Hyperion Books, a publishing company established by Disney. This to me proves his father was connected to the industry, and it also shows how Ezra became a teen actor out of nowhere. Ezra, just like the rest of the celebrities, is a Masonic puppet, and we can find them pushing the Lil Nas X agenda alongside many other agendas. What's disturbing is that even though all of this information has been exposed about Ezra, he's still being allowed to be idolized by the children. This lets you know what Hollywood is really about. Something else I found interesting is that according to Ezra's spiritual guide, he believed the Freemasons had sent demons after him. According to a source close to Ezra, this spiritual advisor had told him that he wasn't a part of the movement, he was the movement, that he was the next Messiah, and that the Freemasons were sending demons out to take him out. This to me caught my attention, as I know for a fact Ezra's a Masonic puppet, as he can be seen doing the Masonic hidden hand gesture in this photo. This obviously proves that he's a Freemason, not only an occultist, as this is specifically a Masonic gesture. So why would they want to take him out? We know the Masons are into ritual sacrifice, but I'm not sure if this was what's going on to Ezra. Hollywood is such a dark place that they're gonna allow Ezra to continue to grow. He's only gonna get bigger and bigger because his evil is celebrated within Hollywood. We must protect our children from the evils of Hollywood. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.